afternoon, everyone. My name is Youngju Ji, and I'm the executive director of Korean American Women in Need, CanWin. CanWin was established on August 15, 1990, by a group of women to address gender violence issue in our community. Since then, for last 24 years, the CanWin has provided supportive service to the survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault in Korean American communities, and recently we expanded service to other East Asian communities. Today, we hold the Global Action Day, which was first created by Korean Council for the World Drafted for Military Sexual Slave to call to attention the urgent need to restore justice for comfort women, the victim of Japanese military sexual slave during World War II. Korean Council and survivors of the comfort women are organizing a Wednesday demonstration that has been take place every Wednesday of every year for last 22 years since 1992 in front of Japanese embassy in Seoul, Korea. During the demonstration, they demand the Japanese government for acknowledgement of the war crime and make an official apology. This demonstration has spread the global stage with supporters showing up in Japan, Philippines, Taiwan, United States, Canada, Germany, and other countries. What we accomplished today is to honor the survivors of Japanese military sexual slave during World War II and acknowledge their experiences as part of the world history, and to call to attention to issue of gender violence, particularly sexual violence. This is being committed against women globally. What does today's action mean to us? To myself as a mother of 2 children, and to the women who are working closely with the survivors fighting against domestic violence and sexual assault, it means many things. The painful history of victims of military sexual slave by Japan constantly remind us the women and children who suffered in the midst of wars and wartime violence against women that still occurs around the world. The United Nations, along other national human rights organizations, has paved the ways to resolve Japanese military sexual slaves this issue and to set up the international standards. They define the comfort woman issue as an inhumane war crime, and constantly adopt several bills which demand for Japanese government official apology and repatriation, and the legal measurement, including the prosecution and punishment of those who in charge of the war crime. Such actions are becoming the torch light of hope toward victims of sexual violence in other armed conflict regions, including Africa. We are gathered here today to take one step toward the peaceful world devoid of war and crime against women. When this bond spread farther around the globe, the world we dream of, the world of peace, will come indeed. Thank you. Now we're gonna have another sister organization speech, who is her name is Ana Romero from Metropolitan Chicago Battered Woman Network. We're gonna hear for her speech.
Buenas tardes, compañeras. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm pretty pleased to be here today supporting this cause and showing solidarity with our comrades and sisters from CanWin and from all the Korean women that are holding these events every single Wednesday in the city of Seoul. I just want to let you know that Chicago Metropolitan Battered Women's Network is an organization of about 60 different organizations in the city that have been fighting in the last 30 years for the women human rights, first and foremost against violence against women. I am the director of the Centralized Training Institute at that organization, Chicago Metropolitan Battered Women's Network. And as advocates, we are here today to demand justice for the survivors of the Japanese rape camps established during World War II to dehumanize and systematically eliminate over 200,000 Korean women and girls. We haven't forgotten that. They are still in our memory, pretty present today. Last year, I had the great honor to meet Bok-dong Kim, a survivor of the atrocities occurred at these camps. Halmuni, grandmother in Korean, Bok-dong Kim, like the youth tenderly called her in Korea, immediately captivated my revolutionary heart because of her beauty and grace and her fierce commitment to justice for comfort women, as well as her passion to eliminate violence from women's lives around the world. Her passion and the passion and commitment of many other survivors in Korea has been crystallized by the creation of a grassroots organization that is creating safe spaces for survivors and supporting women during armed conflicts all around the world. At 81 years old, Halmuni Bok-dong travels everywhere to attest to the horrors of Japanese rape camps, where she was raped 20, 15 times a day since age 12. Many of these women that were kept in captivity by the military Japanese Empire had not survived to tell us their stories. Many of them were summarily killed when they were out because of their sickness or because of their pregnancy. And they many times were bayoneted to death, according to many witnesses. We cannot forget that. We demand that the victimization of comfort women is acknowledged by the Japanese government and that they receive the apology they deserve. The denial of the Japanese government and the subsequent silence of the international community, which has failed to recognize one of the most heinous aspects of the Japanese military conquest, the sexual slavery of Korean women and girls, is emblematic of the global attitudes towards violence against women, especially sexual violence. But, comrades, compañeras, compañeros, friends, when there is oppression, there is resistance, and active resistance is the legacy we carry on from the survivors of the Japanese slavery camps. And all of us, compañeras, sisters, that have come before us to show us the path for liberation. Let's continue demanding justice for survivors of sexual slavery, for sexual violence, here in the United States and in every corner of the world. In a patriarchal society, occupying public spaces like this one we are occupying today is an act of resistance, is an act of liberation. So let's continue doing that work. Let's continue our acts of resistance and liberation every place we go. What do we want? Justice! When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Shinzo Abe, you can hide. Raping women is a crime. Shinzo Abe, you can hide. You will have to apologize. Shinzo Abe, you can hide. Raping women is a crime. Shinzo Abe, you can hide. You will have to apologize. Shinzo Abe, you can hide. Raping women is a crime. Shinzo Abe, you can hide. You will have to apologize. Thank you. Salute from Chicago to all our sisters in Korea.
Thank you so much. Now we're gonna have another sister organization support speech. Chiharu came from rape victim advocate who is dedicating the work of violence against women in the Chicago area, especially for the survivors of sexual assault. We will have Chiharu. Please come in. Please. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Chiharu Iwasaki. I was born and raised in Japan. I came to the US to study psychology in 1996. I have been actively involved in the movement of helping sexual violence survivors since 2003. I am currently working at Rape Victim Advocate as an adult and adolescent counselor. I chose this field of work because I would like to support and provide services for the underserved population. On behalf of RVA, we express our support and solidarity with Can Win and with the incredibly brave comfort women who are seeking justice. When I was growing up, I heard a little about comfort women's issues during World War II. It was brief and in the news. Not much about this issue was taught in my history class. So I never imagined how much this violence impacted on survivors. During my internship at RVA, I had many opportunities to work with Asian survivors when I started being on call in emergency room. Since I am Japanese and now was aware of the history, I was also aware of how Asian survivors in the ER could have viewed me when I disclosed my nationality. I did my best to respect Asian survivors. As a Japanese citizen, I believed I had done my best to accept responsibility. Last year, I attended a workshop about comfort women's issue. Even though I was more than ready to accept this part of the history, hearing the survivor's testimony was far more difficult than I had ever imagined. It was hard for me to swallow. In this workshop, I learned again what the Japanese did to people of other countries during World War II. I learned the terrible impact of war and violence. I learned how survivors were wounded physically, psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually. It broke my heart. Because I was very proud of my Japanese heritage and I have a passion to stop sexual violence, I never deny nor minimize comfort women's issues. While the facts may be very hard and painful to accept, as a person and an advocate, my obligation is to teach about comfort women's issues and the aftermath of violence. Also, in my practice, I would like to continue to address the matter and give my Asian clients a choice as to whether they feel comfortable working with me or not. For the rest of my life, I will show respect as a Japanese counselor. I will address this issue until sexual violence ends. My footsteps are small, but they are firm. And the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Thank you very much.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now! Thank you, everyone. Now, I'm gonna read the statement. This is actually drafted by the nationally. So like all the women, the group of women who committed this work around the world. Today is actually 1139 demonstration in Korea. So we are celebrating this and make this statement and share with you and deliver this statement and two other resolution that has been passed recently in Illinois about this comfort woman issue and deliver that to Japanese Council across the road. Are we all up for that? Great. On August 14th in 1991, Hak-Sun Kim came out to reveal that she was living proof of comfort woman to the Japanese government who was hiding the truth and lying about comfort woman's system. Today, we are here to remember her words and imprint them in us one more time. We will try to insert her courageous word into the new hopeful history. Her word has broken the silence of the victims of comfort women system, who bore one of the darkest moments of the Japanese imperial war and colonial history. We also gather here today to call the attention the issue of gender-based violence, particularly sexual violence that is being committed against women globally, including the United States. On the occasion of Second International Memorial Day of the Comfort Women, we are refusing to stay only for the remembering the painful and shameful history we experienced. By inscribing Comfort Women survivors' courage and struggle in us, we will become pioneers who advance the peaceful world without war and violence against women. The victims of Comfort Women have reborn as a historical witness and peace activist by breaking the silence forced upon them. We urge Japanese government hiding the truth, the word monger and perpetrators of sexual violence live in human rights to accept our demands as below. First, to fully dispose of Japanese military sexual slaves, take the full responsibility, deliver the official apology, and pay legal compensation to the victims of Japanese military sexual slaves. Two, to immediately stop all type of attempts on destroying and denying the history of comfort women and educate it correctly. We also urge the international community to stop all type of wars and armed conflicts and to enhance political and legislative efforts to stop violence against women. So we're gonna deliver this to the office right after. Before we close, I just wanted to acknowledge with you that we have one special guest here today who's been studying this for a long time and committed to spread this word so many, to in her space. We have Bonnie Oh, who's been studying this for a long time in Georgetown University and retired now living in Chicago. We're gonna hear her shortly.
Hello everyone, welcome. I'm so glad we have this opportunity. I believe this is the first time we are having this gathering in front of Office of the Japanese Consulate General. And the reason we are here is to spread the word about comfort women. Comfort women is a World War II sex slaves. And did you know that close to 200,000 women, not only from Korea, but all over East Asia and South Asia, all the way to Australia, were kidnapped, coerced into it, or outright drafted into the service to serve the Japanese military all over the Pacific War. The reason we are here is that because the Japanese government not only does not meet the demands of comfort women, but also they are not they are denying certain aspect of Campo Woman system. So we would like to urge the Japanese government to not only acknowledge the existence of the system, but meet the demands of Campo Woman. First of all, official apology from the Japanese government, not individual apology, but official apology, official compensation, and acknowledge the coercive nature of the induction of Campo women into the system. I appreciate this opportunity very, very much. And the reason we are meeting on Wednesday at noon is very symbolic, because in Korea, South Korea, in front of the Japanese embassy, for the last 22 years, Campo women and their supporters have been meeting, as Ms. Chi says, over 1,100 times every Wednesday at noon in front of the Japanese embassy in Seoul, South Korea. So I really appreciate your interest in this. If you hear about this today, talk to one person. If that person talk to another person, who will really exponentially spread the word. I have been at this for the last 22 years. I'm a retired professor of Korean studies from Washington, D.C., Georgetown University, but now living in Evanston and continuing to be interested. For your information, I'm giving a public talk on the topic at Northwestern University's Buffet Center on November 12th at 7 o'clock. If you can spare your time, please come and hear what I have to say. Thank you so much for gathering. What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! Shinju Abe, you can hide! Raping woman is a crime! Shinju Abe, you can hide! You will have a apologize! Shinju Abe, you can hide! Raping women is a crime! Shinju Abe, you can hide! Shinju Abe, you can hide! Raping women is a crime! Shinju Abe, you can hide! You will have to apologize! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we demand? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
While we are coming into the building, you know, we could put this poster for people who wants to learn about this issue. So we will so anybody who join with us, you could come this way. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining today. Oh, one last thing we're gonna do today in the Under Street. We're gonna have a petition from all over the world, Europe and Korea and United States. We have a common petition going on here to the people, explaining what this is issue about. So we will have that petition going on here while we are coming back. You know, until we are coming back. Thank you again, everyone. Join us. See you next year. Survivors of survivors of Campo women in in World War II. So we are here to brought the resolution that has been passed in Illinois, Senate and House last year and this year, and today's statement included here. Wanted to deliver this to anyone in delegate in your office and go. That is our plan. So please.
Well, I'm not authorized to receive any documents from outside, so I
really?
cannot take it. not authorized to accept any documents from outside.
Really? Well, we will
But
deliberate
we like to
upstairs.
have someone who can accept it.
Well, our policy, we don't accept any documents, so
Why?
I don't know what it's our policy. So I don't know.
So what do you guys do when there is a delivery guy bringing
I
some
mean, if
documents
it's in the
from
mail,
other
then yeah,
offices?
we will accept.
But we should mail it. We should mail it.
Yeah, I know.
Mail it.
read these things?
I've never read.
But you know about the fact? How did you find out? How did you learn about it?
What's that?
How did you learn about the fact? You just said that you know
What
about
kind of
the
fact?
Fact about the over 200,000
I know
women
the
have been
Illinois.
Yes,
the-
a pet beer.
Yes, I know the news, but I didn't read the real statute or.
Why don't you read?
Yes, this is the time that, this is a document on our hand that you could read and, other people should read together. So that's why we are here, to, help you to take, save your time to Google or, this is a document that you put together. So that's the, that's why we're here. So,
Well, if you want to deliver to our office, then you should make an appointment with someone else, not me, and then make arrangement. Okay. And as I said, I'm not authorized to receive anything.
So who should be the person that we should
You should contact to our main phone number, and then our representative will transfer the phone call to the right person.
Who's the name of the person that takes care of the community matters? There is always one person in the Japanese Consulate.
Well, I'm a security, and I don't know.
You're not accepting this.
I-
You look like you want to deny this fact.
I'm not just also not authorized. That's it.
so
No.
You're not doing anything wrong by accepting
I
or
understand
publicly.
that. I understand that, but
It just
you,
look bad. You are
please
not.
understand
So
my
if I
situation.
mail it to you, then are you going to send it back to us?
I don't know.
No, that's the kind of mailing is just the receiving, right? So probably if you could do that by, that if you can give me the attention, who I could direct, then I could send it to the certified mail. Is that possible?
Well, I cannot give our
Any
the
of
people's
them-
name,
okay.
but you can just send us
Community relations?
Yeah, just send to our office.
What's the suite number?
1100.
737 North Michigan, 1100. Suite 1100.
And
Chicago.
if you want to see the mailing address, we have a website, and you can take a look at the website.
Okay.
왜 여기서 받아서 얘기해?
I think
저거
it-
올라가서 얘기해.
저기 지금 시큐리티가
No, we didn't even try. Did you try? No, they're not part of anybody. I think we should try to go in there and see.
Yeah, they
Be
said just
recorded.
try.
Yeah, I think we should
might
try.
get picked up.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
I think we should try. 왜냐면 여기서 저 사람들이 I don't know who they are.
All he told us is that he was not authorized to receive this document. That's all he told us.
I'll take it and I'll make sure they get it then. Okay?
Can we deliver? Can you deliver? Can we deliver?
No, they won't let you up there. It's just, they won't let you up. It's, once you go step foot on that floor, that's their property.
How do you know that we had an appointment or not?
They don't do bypass.
I'm sorry?
Well, we know that you guys are here to protest this, so,
Right, but you don't know that. I mean, I'm just saying that you know.
ma'am, I'm just acting for the building, okay? This is how we handle this. You guys give it to me and I'll make sure someone from there gets it. Okay?
Okay,
Do you guys
can I have your name card so I
I
could
don't have a card. You get
or
my name.
you deliver it to them?
My name is Mickey Houston. I'm the security director here.
Do you guys know? Do you know why we're here?
Absolutely, ma'am.
About the war atrocities of sex slavery of over 200,000 women, of which 80% are Korean American women. So you see the nation suffering of that history, and we just want an apology. And Japanese government has not done that.
I fully understand.
That's why
I'm
we're here.
terribly
We're going to come
sorry,
back.
personally.
Would you like to open and read a little bit?
I'm sorry?
Would you like to open and see what kind of paper you're holding?
It's personal. It's not. It's got nothing to do with me. But it's got nothing
I
to do
know,
with
but
me.
we would like anyone, everybody to read and know the fact.
Also, those are just the Illinois House and Senate resolutions.
Excuse me.
So it's
We
not
need to
like
move that
Why
way
don't
out.
you guys just FedEx this to them?
Yeah, Yeah, we will do that. We will do that.
We'll do that too.
Okay.
I think we thought it was important to really
I
hand out
understand.
this to them. You know, because
I've done this 3 or 4 times before. Okay. So I understand what you people want.
So these are just House and Senate resolutions that were passed about comfort women. And we want to
Yeah, they won't take so long. I'll make sure someone does it.
You can either do that, or you can FedEx it where you have a signature that someone did receive it. Then you know for sure that.
So it would be great if you can deliver it today, and then we'll also FedEx it.
They won't even let one person go up there, or how do people go up there? Like in general for other services?
Well, in general, you go up there, but because you guys are here gathered, they know who you are. Okay? That's all I can tell you.
hopefully they know who the Illinois all citizens want, what they want to do. Okay? Not only here. This is all their decision, their resolution.
I understand. I understand your position, but you have to understand my position too, as a representative of the building. So, but I will make sure that they
Are we all good? We'll make sure that we will send that to them and with a certified
yeah, so we can get it.
Hopefully we could send another letter to urge them to respond to us.
Do you have your business card?
Or do you have that? So we'll leave for one business card. Mine is the runout. One of the, one organization.
Well, if you have an extra card, I'll put my name and phone number on it.
Okay. That'll be wonderful.
I've been the director for 29 years. You can trust me.
Okay. 751.
1090. All right.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
everybody.
Hughes.
You're welcome. Thank you.